you take the average, if we go through and take, let's say, 5 different subjects a day over 200 days of school, that's 1,000 different times in the last year that your student, like they tried to teach them something. So go back and ask your students, say, how many of those do you remember? They're going to remember maybe 10, maybe 15. And what are the ones that they're going to remember? The ones where their teacher took them on an adventure. The one where they engaged their senses. The ones where they told a story. Those are the ones that they will remember. You see, adventure is memorable. Adventure cuts through all of the clutter. You know, I wanted to celebrate you a little bit today. And so I was looking over some of the social media and some of the team was doing that. And because when I say, hey, post about adventure, you're like, yes, I'm going to post about adventure. And I just use the word adventure in my bad post. No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I think maybe I need to give you a little bit more specifics here. So, you know what I want to do? I wanted to actually show you a great example of a post. So this one is from Jill Herrick. Now, what she could do is this. She could post an ad of an energy drink. And that ad could be put against an ad against, you know, Red Bull, Monster. You can take all the competitors, and if we're going to compete against ads, then what we're going to do is we're going to base it on discontent, who could spend the most amount of money, who could be the most shocking, right? We're just going to battle it out. But this wins. You know why it wins? What does she say? Some kids just can't handle family adventure. Awesome, right? There's pictures and there's out cold. And then look, out like a light whenever the car is moving, emojis, right? Because the brain processes images 60,000 times faster than words. You're wired that way, so emojis are a way to do that. She's using a hashtag, she's using other emojis. So we're adventuring on Happy Hump Day, making a cultural reference. Like, this is a great example of a post. And you know what? If I'm going through a timeline, what I'm doing is skipping ad, skipping ad, skipping ad. I'm going to stop on this. Does it take a little bit more time to like, oh, I don't know where the emojis are, never mind. Like, I can't figure it out. Or like, oh, I can't make all the collage. Just take a little bit extra time, or you've wasted your post. Like, waste a little more of your time, or you've wasted all of it if you're not careful. What I want to do is I want to talk to you about 3 types of things that you should post. I'm going to give you 3 examples, because what I want is I want you to be able to leave here, and I want you to be able to go, awesome, I now have some direction. More than just adventure, here's 3 types of things to post. So we'll put them up here. The first one is friendship. Then I want you to post about fun. And then I want you to post about freedom. That's your formula. Now some of you are saying, I get it, you're saying, yeah, but I'm really good on social media. Like I'm kind of a big deal. Like I've been doing this, I have like a lot of followers. Cool, I didn't know you were here. So here's what I want you to post about. Here's what you need to post about. You need to post about friendship, fun, and freedom. You're like, yeah, but I took the 100-day social media adventure, bro. Like, I took it, I know, yeah. Took it. Didn't know. For you, friendship, fun, and then freedom. Which, Erik, I'm an ambassador. Sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect you. Friendship, fun, and then freedom. Okay? So I want to take each one of these and show you an example. So let's take the first one. Let's take friendship. Okay? I'm going to give you my business plan. Feel free to just rip it off. You don't even need to tag me in it. Originality is the ability to hide your source. So just be original and steal this. Here's my business plan. Thank you. Yeah, you're more awesomer. Okay, here's what it is. We're going to help my friends and make more friends. That is your business plan. You're going to go out, I'm going to help my friends, I'm going to make more friends. Now, this of helping people, helping my friends, this culture of gives back, the culture that I fell in love with, this giving back culture, that we can make a difference in this world, that becomes a currency of your team, I hope. It's become part of our family currency. What we did is every Sunday night, we try to get together as a family, and we have our dream boards, and we talk about our dream boards and how are our dream boards going, because I always want my family to always be my first clients, right? My first customer, like the family. I have to do that and keep that in focus. And so I do these assignments sometimes, and so I took out a piece of paper and I created a shield, from what is our family crest. And I printed it out, I gave each one of the families, I said, I want you to draw what it means to be part of our family. And so Emerson scribbled everywhere, and it was awesome. Good job, buddy. Way to think outside the box. And my son, Logan, had embedded codes that, Nicolas Cage has to unlock to understand and some thing. And
So cute.
my wife's an art teacher, so hers was awesome in 30 seconds, and way to make us look horrible, I guess. Awesome. And then my daughter, Pepe, she drew an orange dragon. And I'm like, Pepe, why did you draw an orange dragon? She said, because Daddy, we fight dragons for people. And I thought, I'm getting an orange dragon tattoo. I just, right? That ultimately, see, as I've heard the stories of ambassadors and president, and all of you, I've heard your story, but specifically those that are the top income earners, you know what? They all started the same. They just needed a little bit more to get by. But when that happens, on day 2, then what has to happen is you start to say, you know what? I could help a lot of people. So I need to make a lot more friends. Let me give you an example of a great post as it relates to this. So look at this picture. This is from Alyssa. And do you know what everyone craves? When we talk about the things that are missing from the human heart, from the human experience, people want to belong. People want to be part of a tribe. People want to be part of a family. And so what this post does is other people see that, and whether they know what it means and how we're communicating to them or not, they say, I wish I was there. They say, I wish I had friends. I wish, you have reruns of Friends and Cheetos at night, that's cool, but I wish I had friends. That's what they want. That is a great example of posting about that togetherness. Your greatest relationships will be through shared adventure. Your greatest relationships have through shared adventure. In the mail this last week, I got a wedding invitation. And I opened it up, and I said, Kim, we got a wedding invitation from our friends. And she said, which friends? And I said, Dan and Katie. And she said, you've never met Dan and Katie. How are they, they're your friends? And I realized, I use that term, they're my friends. Why? Because I started to talk to them online. I posted something, and then they tweeted it back, and then I'm having a conversation. You see, a conversation starts a revolution. A conversation, people fall in love over conversations. So that comment that you leave, that reply, that's a conversation. And I love the poster. It says, this is what work looks like. Sunday fun day on our team family time. That's what people want. I want to be part of a team. I miss it. They miss a team, they miss a family. When you use those words and you create those experiences, and then this transitions well to our next post is having fun. They're goofballs, and that's amazing. Because people do not get to have fun at work. In fact, I met them for the first time on Wednesday when we went to go see a movie together. And we said, are we going to see the 4 o'clock or the 6:30? You see the 4 o'clock. And somebody eventually was like, why the 4 o'clock? Like, is this some Mr. Miyagi? Like, I'm not getting it? Like, what's the... I'm like, well, the reason you go to 4 o'clock is because everybody that hates their jobs could go to 6:30. But not everybody that hates their jobs can go to 4 o'clock. So it's an easy decision. You go at 4. You don't go at 6:30. Everybody can go at 6:30. But when you post that I'm going to a movie at 4, they're like, oh, I wish I had your life. And that's the point, right? Is that you want to have fun. Some of you are doing so much better in your business. I'm not saying you're doing better on social media. I'm saying your checks are better. You know why? You're having more fun in the last couple months. Because as you're having more fun, you're attracting more people to that. Because some people, what they do is they say, I'm bored. I look around on a plane, I'm like, we are in the sky. This is amazing. And people are like, oh, I'm bored. And when you're bored, like, it's because you're boring. So just don't be boring. And they load up Candy Crush, and like, they're just, I'm bored, I need to be entertained, and like, they need to have adventure. Let me show you an example of a great post for this. This is from Kendra, okay? And this is her post here. And she's having fun. She's having fun with her family. Now, the reason I wanted to point this post out specifically is because I think some of you guys, you think that you are at a disadvantage in the business sometimes. Well, here's what I know is that if I go on a field trip at school and my wife posts on Instagram that she is just having a lot of fun on this field trip, there are 29 other moms who are also posting about that. When I go, I'm the only dad there. And so when I'm having fun with my kids, everybody else is looking at, they go like, I wish my husband was more like that. Like, I wish that, well, yeah, let me tell you how you could make that happen. You understand is, you posting about fun will attract people. You posting about friendship attracts people. But some of you say, yes, but I'm just starting out. I don't have that much money to go on vacation all the time. I didn't say vacation. I said adventure. There's a big difference. See, what we've done in our society is we have put that the goal to attain to is that 2 weeks a year, like twice a year for 1 week, I get to go on vacation. So if you do the math, that's 4% of your life. So that's our goal as a society, is to spend 4% of our life doing what we love to do. No, see, adventure is a mindset. It's a way to look at things that everything can be adventure. It's just the way that you look at it. The third thing to talk about is freedom. 76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's it. 4 people at the office, 3 of them are about a paycheck away from going bankrupt. In the United States, there'll be more bankruptcies this year than heart attacks. More people will declare bankruptcy. And you know that the average family could have avoided it for about $300 a month. That's all they needed. Technology is an accelerator. We've talked about that before, is that it helps accelerate relationships. And it can accelerate good things or bad things. And we try to focus in on how can we accelerate the good things. In fact, that's why we even created adventure support. That this wasn't just about 100 videos to create a baseline for you, but that we created this website of adventure support, and that you could go in there and there's more articles and more bonus materials, and you could go and type a question of like, hello adventure, what are you looking for? And it's so when you say like, oh, I don't know how to install the emojis, like we've put 5 articles in there on how to do it, and all you have to do is send us that message, and because we want to accelerate your dream. We want to accelerate hope with technology. Here's an interesting idea. So I was thinking, well, what is the opposite of technology? If technology accelerates things, then what would be the opposite of that? Do you know what it is? It's debt. Debt does the opposite of accelerating something. Debt will drown somebody's dream. And so when we say that most of the world is not living an adventure, it's because they are drowning in debt. And that is why that is the enemy, because debt is robbing the world of stories. They're robbing the world of some of the greatest works of art because they're not living their dream. And that's why debt is such the enemy. Let me give you a great example of a post here. So here's what Rachel is posting about, right? Her and her husband. And look what they say here. 2.5 years ago, we were drowning in debt, and we were surviving month to month on credit cards. It was horrible. Now we're totally debt-free, and there are their plans for their dream home. And that's so inspiring to me, is to say, like, that, who does not see a post like that and say, okay, so how do we do, like, what? It's a great example of a post with that. But you see, the problem is that, well, here's what I'll tell you. I'm going to make a guarantee for you. I'm going to guarantee you this, is that if you post about friendship, fun, and freedom, when you do that, nobody will say no to you. Like, you're going to make that guarantee? Absolutely. If you post about friendship, fun, and freedom, nobody is going to say no to you. You know why? Because they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves. You going and blitzing someone, you talking to them, you sending a message, when they say no, they didn't say no to you. They said no to themselves. It had nothing to do with you. Your responsibility is to ask. Its responsibility is to walk across the room. Your responsibility is to say yes to adventure. Like, that is what you do. You say, yes, I'm going to do that. It doesn't matter. But you know what? I know that sometimes that's hard, because excuses get in the way. You know, things like, well, tomorrow or next time, or, it's expensive, or I'm busy. When I hear those words, what I hear is, you're not going to win. Because you're saying, well, tomorrow there's not a good time. Some other day. Those are not words of adventurers. Those are not words of championship teams. Like, tomorrow I'll work out. Oh, you know what? I'll do that. I'll work out double tomorrow. No. Like, that's not what champions do. Recently, I was able to go on an amazing adventure. This is my mom on the screen here. And there's Mom. And Mom has stage 4 kidney cancer. And I don't know how much time she has left. And no matter how much money I have, no matter how smart I am, I cannot add a day to her life. And then I realized, while I was sitting next to Mark on Orlando training, that I could add life to her days. So, what you have to understand is that your opportunity in this room is that it's so much more than amazing products. It's so much more than hope wrapped in health, that you can add life to people's days. You can add friendship, fun, and freedom. And there is no better opportunity or job in the entire world. I remember when I was on that trip, she's from a village in the Arctic Circle. And so it's called Tromsø, and we were there. And in Tromsø, she has not been back since she was a little girl. So I surprised her for her birthday recently, and I said, we're going to go visit the village that you grew up in. And so we went, and we had this incredible adventure. And right towards the end, she said, my father, your grandfather, he was a pastor of a church, but I don't know what church it was. And so we started to say, well, you know what? Maybe we're flying out tomorrow. Maybe we'll stop by. We'll look at stopping by. But I don't want Mom to overdo it. Let's try to get to the airport early, because that church, maybe they believe weird stuff. I don't know, what? We don't speak the language. You see what you do? You see what I did? I was myself talking myself out of it. You do not understand how much you are saying no for other people, how you are talking yourself out of adventure constantly. You don't even realize you're doing it. And so we planned on not going and trying to find us. We didn't know where the church was. We didn't know what it was called. It's been almost 60 years since she left. And so right as we were packing up, and we're tired and jet lag, I just said, we're going to say yes to adventure, and we're going to try. And so we went up to the church. We went in, and it was weird, and they didn't speak language, and it was And we sat there, and at the end, they came and they brought the picture of my grandfather that had been on the wall. And he told me stories about how he was a hero and how he was in the resistance. And you see, my mom doesn't have a birth certificate because the Nazis burned them during World War II. And right as we were about to leave, they pulled out a book from the back and like dusted it off, and they opened it up. And I have a picture here that what they did is we found that there is my mom's name in my grandfather's handwriting in a book that's been sitting on a shelf for now almost 60 years, that because she was the daughter of the pastor, her birth records were there and they weren't where they were burned. And I would have never had that moment if I would have made all the excuses and not just said yes. And you know what I wonder is how many of us in this room, we don't get that experience. How many times have you said no? How many times have you robbed, not just yourself or your family, but you've robbed the world of an amazing story? You know, my hope for you is that you always stay thoughtful, that you help your friends and that you make new friends, that you always see the moonwalking bear and that you see the pink feet, that you invite people to a grand adventure, that the day has a good news, because your adventure begins right now.